Welcome to Switched On Schoolhouse Story of the Constitution. In this one-credit high school history elective, your student will study units that cover topics like the colony's struggle for independence, writing and ratifying the Constitution, the Preamble and Article 1, Amendments 1 through 15, the principles and nature of our Constitution, and much more. Now let's take a look at a Story of the Constitution lesson to see how concepts like these are covered. In a unit entitled The Colony's Struggle for Independence, let's look at a lesson called The Colonial Experience. Most lessons begin with a brief introduction and a list of goals or objectives for the lesson. These objectives help students stay focused on important lesson content and provide parents with an effective way to measure mastery of lesson content. The goals for this lesson are: recognize that America's political roots came from Europe, most specifically England, and identify the role that European political theorists such as Hume, Locke, and Blackstone had in America's colonial era. Most lessons begin with a brief introduction and a list of vocabulary words that will be used throughout the lesson. We've included review and reinforcement activities to encourage mastery of these important words. For example, students can hear the correct pronunciation of each word.
Monarchy. Quartered.
A Vocabulary Games arcade provides additional practice designed to help students to learn the spelling and definitions for the vocabulary from the lesson. Let's take a look at one of the games.
Spell the word quartered.
Q-U-A-R-T-E-R-E-D.
Flashcards provides a fun way for students to review the definitions for the vocabulary words. Here's a sample. After this introductory material, your student moves independently through the lesson, reading the text-based instruction and utilizing the multimedia features that have been provided. Several helpful tools have been included in Alpha Omega homeschool courses to enhance your students' learning environment and to promote greater understanding for students with a variety of learning styles. Auditory learners may benefit from hearing text read aloud as they follow along. Students select a portion of text and utilize the text-to-speech tool to read the text. A number of customization options allow students to personalize their use of the text-to-speech feature. A highlighting feature allows students to use highlighter colors to highlight important text in the lesson as they study. Highlighted portions are saved when a student leaves the lesson, making it possible for them to come back later to study the highlighted passages. As children study, it's important that they understand that what they're learning fits into a timeline of history. Any linked date or major event within the text of the lesson provides access to an interactive timeline. The timeline provides information about great civilizations, historical eras, significant events, and persons from history. Many of Alpha Omega's computer-based lessons are filled with colorful photographs, illustrations, and diagrams that are all designed to enhance the text-based instruction and assist students in mastering lesson content. At the end of the lesson, your student is presented with a series of questions that provide a review of lesson content. If the lesson contains multiple sections, after completing section 1, the student continues to the next section, reading the text-based instruction and answering the remaining questions. Questions are presented in a variety of formats. Answers are automatically saved as the student works through the questions, with 85 to 90% of student work being graded immediately by the program. A student is given the opportunity to reattempt questions that were answered incorrectly the first time through the lesson. The lesson is complete when the student has answered all questions correctly or has exhausted his allowed attempts.